ASTATechCenter presents Primavera P6 lessons. Please like the video, subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon.
Primavera P6. Lesson 5. Activities. In this lesson, we will cover topics such as activity attributes, adding activities to the project under WBS, coping and modifying activities, activity codes, user-defined fields, activity steps, and activity attributes. The attributes of an activity could be start date, end date, duration, cost, expenses, materials, equipment, labor force, milestone steps, and so on. Milestone activity has zero duration, and either has start date or has end date. Some of the activities those are in critical path are called critical activities with zero float. Some of the additional attributes of activity: cost, time, expenses, materials, equipment, float, manpower or labor, milestones, steps, and so on. Adding activities to the project. From Open Project List, DSPB, select the WBS, under which you want to insert activities. Click Add button, from right vertical toolbar to get the new activity dialog box wizard, to add activities to activity windows. Enter activity it is SP1000 for District School Project, Bhubaneswar, DSPB, as name of project and it is start milestone and press next. In the WBS window, you will see the WBS selected, then press next. Adding activities to the project. Under Activity Type dialog box, select Start Milestone from the drop-down list, and press Next. Under Dependent Activity dialog box, select No, Continue Radio button, and press Next. Adding activities to the project. Under Activity Type dialog box, select Start Milestone from the drop-down list, and press Next. Under Dependent Activity dialog box, select No, Continue Radio button, adding activities to the WBS, and customizing the bottom layout. Other way to add activities to the WBS under Project, select the WBS and right-click, and then select Add Item from drop-down menu. In the list a small window for adding activity appears, where you can directly type the name of the activity. The bottom layout can be used for entering other attributes of the activity. In order to customizing the bottom layout, right-click on its header and select Customize Activity Header Layout, adding attributes to activities, and customizing the bottom layout. Activity Detail Table window thus appear. You can play with the items in the table by using left and right arrows. Select the items, such as General, Codes, Status, Steps, Relationships, Successors, Expenses, WPs and Docs, Notebook, and Resources to the right window and click OK. Tabs for selected items will appear on the bottom layouts, table headings for entering the details of various attributes for the selected activity. Adding attributes to activities, and customizing the bottom layout. Adding attributes to an activity. In the General tab, change the activity it is SP1000. Activity's name will also appear and can also be modified. Consider activity type as Start Milestone, leave WBS as such, %complete type as duration and select calendar as District School Project, Bhubaneswar 6 days working. As the activity is a Start Milestone type, has zero duration, and appears in the graphical layout area in a diamond shape. Adding attributes, level of effort or hammock type of activity. Another type of activity is the level of effort type, where the activity measures the efforts of all steps under it, but doesn't have any deliverables. Here in our case, project management is a level of effort type of activity. In the graphical area of top layout, it is represented as an activity bar.
Adding and modifying activity. Adding an activity can be done either selecting the correct WBS or clicking the Activity Tool button from right side vertical toolbar and following the instructions in Add Activity Wizard. Here, you can also directly enter the activity name and change its code. The bottom layout can be used for entering all its code, and attributes are also modified by using the bottom layout.
Adding activity steps. Steps to activity are introduced where sequence of work involved in completing the activity are uncertain. In such case, physical % of progress of the sequence of work are only monitored to achieve the final progress. An activity such as mobilize to school project is introduced. By right-clicking the header of bottom layout, you can customize the tabs of bottom layout. By selecting Step tab, use the Add button to add the items of work. By doing so, values will be uniformly populated in the table. You have the option to change the weightage of any item of works. By doing so, the weight percentage will change. If you are an employer, your interest is to see the mobilization of contractor to finish at the earliest. Hence, monitor the start date or the finish dates of steps of works as a record. Adjusting activity steps configuration. 2 more settings to be done in order to track the physical percentage finish of mobilized to school project site activity in our school project. In the General tab of bottom layout, make percentage complete as physical. Then in Project View, select District School Project, Bhubaneswar, DSPB, and click Calculation tab and there select Activity Percentage Complete based on activity steps. Adding codes to an activity. In order to add code to the activities, click Enterprise menu and select Activity Codes. By doing so, Activity Codes window will appear. Either you select Global Radio button or Project Radio button. It is better to select Global so that the codes can be accessed in other project. If the code window is empty, click Display All Values, selecting Filter by All Values from drop-down list. The display window will thus populated with values. Here in our case for District School Project, we have created code as phase below construction. Adding a phase column in the tabular, top layout, and populating with code values. Click the column tool from top horizontal toolbar, and add phase column from activity codes, global. Select phase and get it to right side list. By clicking apply, an additional column with heading as phase is added. All the cells in this column can be populated with code value construction, const. By left-clicking on the first cell, get this code value, const. From activity code value in the table and then select last cell with Shift key. Staying there, click and select Fill Down from drop-down list to populate all cells with const. Later exceptions can be made to other code values, if they are defined earlier. User-defined fields. An user-defined column can be added to the column heading, in the tabular area of upper layout, to make some important entries of any activity, not by referring to WPs or DOCs of that activity. In order to achieve this, select user-defined fields by clicking the Enterprise menu and thereafter selecting the user-defined fields. Similar to adding activity code and creating column in the tabular area, the user-defined field can be made. User-defined fields. User-defined fields can be made at activity, WBS and project level and so on. In our case of school project, create an user-defined field at activity level, and add a new value as major issues and field type as text. Thereafter, go and click Column Tool button, forgetting the column window. Select user-defined field and expand it to select major issues. Get it to right side and click Apply to have a new column added to the tabular area. Since the column is a text type, you can add text up to 256 characters. Here in our case of school project, against mobilization to site activity, please enter. Delay in starting project has been caused due to the vendor not completing the mobilization in time. Saving a layout. By clicking the downward arrow under the horizontal toolbar, above tabular layout, select Save As. In the pop-up Save Layout As window, enter the name of the layout you want to save, say Activity Entry Layout District School Project, Bhubaneswar, DSPB. By doing so, you will see the layout name as Activity Entry Layout District School Project, Bhubaneswar. Whenever you want to open any layout, you can do so by selecting the layout from the list of saved layout. Primavera P6 Software Demonstration. Lesson 5. Topics.
Adding activities to work breakdown structures. Process of creating steps for an activity. Process of creating activity codes and assigning them. Process of creating user-defined code and assigning it. Process of creating a layout and saving it. Opening a saved layout. Closely observe the steps so that you get familiar with the sequence of operations. Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon.